Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs, and he's been very helpful in getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no game with Brian. He's just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up the number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Find him online at bryanismyagent.com. That's bryanismyagent.com, and make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. A couple of weeks ago, I was invited on the Louisiana Sports Talk Radio. It was the Astros flagship station, so the flagship for the Astros in Louisiana. They wanted to talk about the White Sox, their progress, and how they'd fare against Houston. Of course, there was an Astros bias. Why wouldn't there be? When I made a joke about trash cans, the hosts weren't happy. When I said the White Sox were a deep team, they said, well, the Astros are pretty good too. Sure. The Astros beat the White Sox all season. True. Something inside of me told me those tides were going to change. Just in case you don't know, or you're new to the channel, I do not believe in the Astros. I will never buy into them as a team. And yes, that's a personal vendetta. I'll be completely honest with you, it's a personal vendetta. I do not like what they did before. When I saw White Sox fans throw an inflatable trash can onto the field the other day, I said yes. I did. Because what they did to the game wasn't good. That's a big black mark. Wasn't just them. Other teams did it too, but the difference is they won the World Series in a year in which they shouldn't have. Players were paid money based on those numbers, now can't put up the same ones. So it's unfair to team ownership. It's unfair to the rest of Major League Baseball. And it's unfair to you. Very unfair to you. Unfair to Dodger fans. Lost the World Series. Unfair to you, Darvish, who imploded in the playoffs and missed out on a bigger payday. See what I mean? These all had big consequences for different people. It wasn't just, oh, they cheated and everything's fine. No. There was a ripple-down effect, and everybody got affected. That is my issue with this. Go ahead and cheat. Do what you want. But when other people get affected, when money's involved, that's a problem. I don't want to get too far into it. If you know me by now, you know how I feel about it. I've done so many videos about this. I've talked at length about this on my old radio show back in college. So if you don't know by now, then I suggest you go back and watch a few more videos on it. The point being, I will never believe in the Houston Astros, because the thought will always come into my head, are they cheating? You might think that's ridiculous, but I don't. And when Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs, and then the steroid accusations came up, did they ever go away? No. That's why at the end of his career, he was blackballed. At 41 years old, the guy hit 270, 900 plus OPS. He didn't retire, he wasn't signed, because everybody knew, and they weren't going to deal with that. So to me, the Astros are in that same boat. Now we hear the constant scrutiny. Oh, the White Sox aren't as good as them. Really? Why'd they beat them 10-1 on Saturday? Why is Carlos Rodon carving them up as we speak? I love this White Sox team. Remember, too, I'm not a Sox fan. I'm not a fan of anybody. This is objective. They are a damn good baseball team. How can you argue with this rotation? Giolito, Cease, Keuchel, Lynn, Rodon. Lynn got an extension. We'll talk about that in a minute. All of these guys are great starting pitchers. This team is officially World Series bound. I'm saying it now. It's not a hot take. When you have 5 good starting pitchers in the playoffs, you're going everywhere. Look what they're doing to Houston right now, carving them up. Imagine a 7-game series when you'd have to face, possibly, Giolito twice, Keuchel twice, Lynn twice. Good luck to anybody. You could have Rodon pitch, Cease out of the bullpen. I mean, these are great pitchers that you have. Good closer in Liam Hendriks. And this lineup, I can't get over this lineup. Look, I'll be frank, I didn't see this team being consistent with the bats. I didn't see them all year having an OPS plus above 100, having 8 guys in their lineup with an OPS plus above 100. It's the end of July. It's still happening. How's that possible? Look at this team. Yasmani Grandal, Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, Moncada, Vaughn. Domingo is doing good. He just came back. I mean, these guys are great. They're hitting a baseball. I want to read this quote to you from MLBTradeRumors.com. Great website. This is about the Lance Lynn signing. Quote, securing Lynn keeps another member of Chicago's impressive core in place. Carlos Rodon is the only member of the rotation not currently signed through next season. The White Sox control Dallas Keuchel and Lucas Giolito through 2023 and Dylan Cease through 2025. The White Sox have been wisely proactive about signing their young core to extensions. Yoan Moncada is under contract through 2024. Eloy Jimenez and Aaron Bummer through 2026, and Luis Robert through 2027. Free agent signings, Liam Hendriks and Yasmani Grandal, also have contracts that run through 2024 and 2023 respectively. Other young talents, like Nick Madrigal, Andrew Vaughn, and Michael Kopech, have yet to even begin the arbitration process. Remember when I told you all a couple of weeks ago? It's not imperative for this team to win the World Series this year. It'd be great. I'd be happy. I think they could. But it's not imperative. This is why. No GM is perfect. Rick Hahn did give up Fernando Tatis Jr. for James Shields. But every move, for the most part, has been perfect and has been wisely planned out by Rick Hahn. Look at all these guys who are extended on this team. This is what the Cubs should have done. Take notes, Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer. The White Sox purposefully extended their window. Didn't have to, but chose to. Extending Lynn, Giolito, Cease, under contract for next year. Moncada, Jimenez, Bummer, Robert, Hendriks, Grandal, Madrigal, Vaughn, Kopech, all under contract for next year and some beyond. Take notes. Every GM in baseball, take notes. It's just so smart. The White Sox are committed to sustained success. How many times have you heard those words on my program? Sustained success. Not 1 year World Series, 5 years of misery, then rebuild. Sustained success. The White Sox have extended all these core players. They have some guys under contract through 2026. That's why it's not imperative for them to win the World Series now. Doesn't mean they can't. Doesn't mean I don't want them to. But it's not even imperative. They could get bounced in the ALCS. Doesn't matter. they'll come back even stronger the year after. Here's the best part, though. They actually have the talent to win the World Series today. Imagine a 7-game playoff series with Rodon, Keuchel, Zaghloul, Lynn. You kidding me? How are you supposed to win that? Any team. Even the Astros. Astros are getting carved up right now by Zaghloul and by Rodon. How in the world are you supposed to win a series when those are the 4 pitchers you may have to face? And we all know in the ALCS World Series, it's going to be a 3-man rotation. Who gets left out? Who comes out of the bullpen? That's the best problem in the world to have if you're Tony La Russa. I love how proactive they've been. And I love what they've done to ensure future success. Too bad the Cubs didn't do it. Now they're rebuilding. This is the way it has to be. You want to be a contender? If you think you're good, you want a dynasty, multiple World Series, well, then you have to make sure everyone's under contract. You can't be making desperate trades like Jose Quintana. You can't be saying we have no money. You can't make irresponsible moves with the money you do have, signing Jason Hayward to a $180 million contract. I actually believe Rick Hahn looked at Theo and said, I'm not going to do that. Did the complete opposite. Look what worked out. Look what happened. Now they extended Lance Lynn. $18.5 million for 2 years. Sign me up. That's a bargain. Really it is. You're paying a guy $18.5 million for putting up a 2 ERA. 2 ERA today could bet you $30 million. That's a team-friendly deal. And Lynn likes it here. Enjoys the area. He'll be great. He's always been underrated. No one really knows about him, kind of flown under the radar, but quietly strikes out a lot of guys and eats innings. He's insulted if he doesn't go 200 a year. He takes it personally. That's a guy I want on my team. So now he's under contract. They have Giolito. The only other guy who could be on the outside looking in is Rodon, who's under a 1-year deal. They could extend him. And you have Keuchel. This rotation will stay intact for next year and the year beyond. And you've got all these young players. Your core is 10 times more talented than the Cubs core ever was. I'm not speaking as a White Sox fan. I'm being unbiased here. It just is. It's a way better core. More pieces, more talent, more upside, more potential. It just is. And more productive. See, there's a difference between hyping somebody up and them actually performing. The Cubs, all kinds of hype. Great marketing scheme. White Sox, not as much hype, but everybody does their job and they win. You can market all you want, use social media and run ads, but at the end of the day, all I'm looking at is the win column. Did you win or lose? Are you a good team? Or do you say you're a good team? And your fans, for that matter. This is actually a good core. They don't strike out 200 times and walk 20 like Javier Baez. They don't pitch 5 innings and give up 5 runs strike out a lot, but don't do much else, like Abreu. They're actually talented. They actually put up numbers. It's a team sport. That's what I love about this team. There really isn't an ego, per se. Everyone's aware of their role. They all know that, hey, it's a talented corp. We all work together. And it turns out they're winning. I appreciate that. I appreciate the humble attitude, the team effort, the emphasis on team, not me, but team. And the fact that they recognize we can't do anything unless we work together as one. Lynn's a great starter, but the Sox need 4 other good ones to win. They know that. Everyone acknowledges it, and they all perform. I don't know how you can't love this team. As a baseball fan, I'm not talking Cubs or White Sox. I'm saying as an objective baseball fan. Put on that lens for a second. Take off your Cubs or your White Sox cap and put on the objective baseball lens. When you look at the White Sox from the outside and you analyze their numbers, you watch their games, you see this team, their talent, their lineup, their rotation, their bullpen. How could you not like this team? How could you not see World Series right away? I see it. So apparent. They are going to be very good, not just this year, but for 3 to 7 years. And that's a correct window, by the way. A good window, 3 to 7 years. The Cubs thought it'd be 3 to 7 years, but it ended up being 1. Not 2, maybe, if you want to count 2015. Big difference. They see 3 to 7 years, and they execute it. They signed everybody, for the most part, for 3 to 7 years. Everyone, with the exception of Rodon, is at least signed through next year, which means they could run it all back. Something bad happens this year, well, doesn't matter. Go to the next year. We'll do it again. I cannot give Rick Hahn, these players, this manager, enough credit for being where they are today. I've always told you, I'm not a hater of anybody. I'm objective. If you deserve the praise, you're going to get it. This team deserves it. This is the most successful team in Chicago right now. I know everyone's freaking out about Justin Fields. They haven't played a game yet. Right now in the moment, this team is executing, performing, putting up numbers to show we're damn good. And that, to me, has to be appreciated. Understand that this is probably the best White Sox team in decades. I'm even talking better than 2005. Seriously. You better make sure you appreciate this and realize just how good they are and what's to come for this team. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Jose Canseco comes up next. Stay tuned.